Hello fellow Sudokans and welcome to Zen and the Art of the Guardian Sudoku puzzle for Sunday the 7th of November 2021. This puzzle, this is the Observer puzzle. I have done it, attempted to do this, I attempted 3 times and actually completed it once. Not because it's difficult, it's actually an easy level puzzle, but the problem was that the camera kept failing. Had problems with the video, and I just couldn't get the video to work. And then I used a different item of software and did it on the computer, and that didn't record the sound. So I've had to do what I almost never do, which is switch the computer off. I have my computer is never switched off. It's left running all the time because it takes such a long time to start up, actually, and I'm always scared that it's never going to start up properly for reasons which I'd rather not explain. But anyway, finally I've done a restart. I'm going to have to play the game again, and what I did was to when I played it on the computer screen, I tried to explain a little bit about a system of one of our channel viewers, Julian Locke, who constantly puts up comments on every video showing path forwards without using candidates, and he has his own technique which I think is very interesting. Now actually on the screen it was quite tricky to kind of demonstrate on the screen, but I think using pen and paper it might be useful, so I'm gonna also include that again a little anyway, not completely, because I'm not well versed in it just yet. I've just started having a try of it, but I thought it was quite interesting to spot. He has a system of bows and arrows. We'll get to that in a moment. Just to mention again for the fifth time that Joe Biden has passed his $1 trillion infrastructure bill, not sufficient for what he requested. But at least getting something done, as I have said several times this morning already. I live in Thailand, which is the land of compromise. You know, it's a very Buddhist country, and we often take what we call the middle path, the middle way, which means that we have to compromise, and life is so much easier when you can compromise. Of course there are times issues and things that you can't compromise on, but very often in life there is room for compromise, and if there is, you should probably take it. Right, so let's get on with our game. This is an easy level game. Well, I've finished it without using any candidates anyway on the screen, so I assume it's an easy level game. And I shall explain that for those beginners we have rows across with numbers 1 to 9, rows, columns down with numbers 1 to 9, and blocks with numbers 1 to 9. Now it's our duty to fill in the missing numbers. Now usually I show you in a kind of standardized way, and I'll do some of that today, but then I also thought that I might show you a little bit about his technique of what he calls bows and arrows. I'm going to draw for those of you whose first language is not English, I think we're going to have something like this: a bow and an arrow, if you see what I mean. So the bow meaning like a curve or an arc, okay, and an arrow meaning a straight thing. So for example, if you follow his ideas and his systems, you will see that sevens kind of could link around in this fashion to produce a kind of arc. Now I hope I'm saying this correctly. Julian will hopefully comment if I've messed it up, but this kind of bow shape here, so leading us to the fact that, you know, starting on this column here and then going across to this column here, we're looking at chute, by the way. I should explain we're looking at chute, going down in this chute down to the bottom and landing, of course, on this column, because this is not including the 2 where we began, so that is going to be a 7 there. Let's choose the right pen, that would help. so that would be a kind of bow shape. There would also be like a bow shape here, meaning that 7 is somewhere in here, but we don't know where yet, right? This kind of shape like this, and this 4 will be up, kind of around like this, but we have an intersecting 4, but we can't tell which of these two squares it comes in. Now I think that's what he means, having read his comments, and I would encourage you to read his comments. They're all still up on the various videos that he comments on. So I'm going to kind of use a kind of mixture of that, I guess. But if we imagine then our bow kind of coming down like this, if it starts on this left column and goes across to the right, it's got to end somewhere in the middle, right? Now we've got intersecting 8s here and here. I think this is kind of what we do anyway, especially the bow that you'll see, I think, in a moment. I think this is something that we basically do. The arrow, sorry, something that we basically do. Now the arrow is a kind of straight line, so what he has the idea of is something like this, the 4s going along up to the top line. And I think this is something that we naturally do anyway, a kind of straight line going up. I think that most solvers probably see it in those terms. Now I often kind of drag the mouse along showing you blocking and blocking, but I'm doing that really because I need to show you and demonstrate on the screen where these things are. But in actuality, I'm kind of, my eye is actually doing this anyway. So we can see the 4 is going to be in, it's got a blocking square here, it's going to be in one of these two squares like that, and that will be his arrow as I understand it. And as I say, I may have got it, I may not have got it right. So if we say there's a bow here, is that right, like this, and we can see that there's an, going up and down here, right, like this, and of course we've got a blocking 8 here, so the 8 should go there, and then we actually have like a straight line down there. Now we have the 4s, look, the 4 going across like this, so that will be the arrow for the 4 in that way, and arrow coming down here in the bow like this, I guess. Okay, I hope this is not too confusing for you. It's a bit confusing for me, but as I said, well, it's not that confusing actually, but as I said, I kind of I'm interested in it. I think it's useful. I think though it was going to be really difficult to demonstrate on the computer screen. Kind of slightly easier to show with a pen and paper, but I think it's quite interesting. Now, using my traditional way of explaining things, you will see that the 7 blocks across this square here, and the 7 blocks up here, like this. So blocking and blocking. So we can see that 7 has to go there. So now, if we have only one number like this, I don't see how we can find if it's a bow or an arrow in this case. But once we've found the 7 there, then I suppose we now know that that's a straight line across there, and the 7 is going to be here or here. But as I said, that's something I think we mostly see anyway. All right. Now I have actually played this game successfully once. As I said, it wasn't particularly difficult, but I've spent some time away from it now, so I've kind of forgotten what the numbers were. It was an hour ago, and I've forgotten about it. So right, we have a 9 blocking down here, and we have a 9 blocking across here as well. So now we have 9 here, and I suppose our bow will be this shape, so we can see 9 has got to be in these two squares here. I also actually noticed that 9 blocks here, 9 is going to be in these squares and these squares, but not much I think we can do about that for the moment. Right, the 2 blocks down this column anyway, so that's 2 there, and our arrow going up here, if you like, and the 2 blocking here, so we see that's a kind of shape up there. Right, what else? Ah, yeah, so this is something, oh, actually, Two missing numbers down here, so 7 blocks this square here. So that's a 7 there, and the missing number here is 3, of course, to fit. Missing numbers up here are 5 and 6 in those squares. 5 and 6 in those squares. We'll come back to that later, I guess. And I guess if you're looking at the bow shape, that makes sense. 6 over there, 5, one of these two squares to come up here, right? 5 is one of those two squares there, but it kind of makes sense. Where do I look now? So now I'm not being an experienced... yeah, there we go, 7s. So the 7's coming around here like this, and 7 blocking down here and down here, so that's got to be a 7 here. By the way, this is not the same order that I played it before, and I think you'll find that if you play Sudoku games more than one time, you often don't play it in exactly the same way. Play in a different way. 4 blocking down here, 4 across here, and that's a 4 there. So then I'll go around and 4 blocking here, so the 4 will be in that square there. 4 going up here, we've got an intersecting 4 here, so that will be the 4 there. I kind of practiced this a couple of times yesterday, not this game of course, on different games, and the easy level and the medium level I found it was fine, and the hard level I didn't manage to complete without going in the usual route, but that might be a lack of practice, or it might mean that you need to use memory more, and my memory is not that great anyway. Right now 9 is going to be somewhere down here, right? We've got 9 blocking here, so 9 is in one of these two squares, so it's going to go up there. So 9 blocking this square, so we can say that a 9 has to be there, can't we? Where should we be looking now? Okay, so 2 blocks across here, so 2 is one of these squares here, which means that can't be a 2. 2 blocking across here and across here, so that's got to be a 2 there. Now 2 coming kind of down here like this. Now we know one of these two is a 2, right? So that can't be 2, and this 2 blocks this square here, so that's got to be a 2 there. Where's the right place to go next? Okay, there's 4 down here, so we've got 4 blocking and 4 blocking here, so that's our 4 there. 5 blocking this square, so 5's there, one of these two here, but that's not good enough to give us anything yet. 5 is also down here, of course, one of these two squares. Anything else? going to be useful? Ah, 3 blocks down here, so that's our 3 to place there. Okay. Missing numbers here are 1 and 6, aren't they? So 6 blocks this square here. It's taking me a long time to do this because I'm kind of I'm trying to concentrate on trying to explain this system, a system that I don't know very well. And you know, it's like a teacher being just 1 page ahead in the book. And at the same time trying to solve the puzzle, trying to find ways to explain it. Oh, this is taking such a long time like this though, because it's kind of unnatural to be looking in this way. So I think I'm going to just finish the game by reverting to type. That means going to things that I generally look for. Um, oh man. Why can I not see this? What's going wrong here? Something's going very wrong. I can't see what I'm getting wrong. Oh, okay. So 3 and 7 blocks up here, 3 and 7 blocks up here. So this is 3 and 7, right? Okay, so the 3 is in one of these squares here. Okay, that's it. So now the 3 has got to go there. Now, if this is 3 and 7 and this is 5 and 6, we know that the 1 has to be in that square there. That's more like it. Okay, now 1 blocks this square, 1 blocks this square. We don't have a 1 in that row yet, so let's put the 1 there. And the missing numbers there, what, 3 and 5? Can't tell. Yes, we can. 5 blocks across here, so 5 is in one of these squares here. No, that's not going to do it, is it? Okay. Sorry for the less than fluid solving in this game, but as I say, I'm trying to kind of try something a bit different. And, you know, we must experiment in life, mustn't we? We must learn from others. There we go, 3 blocking down here. So that's our 3 there. Now, our strange bow pattern, I suppose, something like, no, like this, I guess it would be. Like that, right? That's our bow here, and we've got an intersecting 3 here, so that would be the 3. Down here, the 3 blocking down here, so we've got blocking, so that's our 3 there. Our 1, how do we do this? Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. We've got 1 blocking across here and down here, so that's a 1 there. And this is going to give us a 1 in this square here because it blocked up here and blocked up here like this. A 1 across here and 1 blocking up here will give us a 1 there. And 1 down here, 1 across here and 1 across here will give us a 1 in that square there. So if this is 5 and 6, then this has got to be 5 or 6, and this has got to be 5 or 6, but look, we see the 5 here. Did you get that? Okay, the missing numbers here and here are 5 and 6. Only two empty squares, 5 and 6. So in these two empty squares, there must also be 5 or 6, and in these two empty squares, because there are only two empty squares, 5 or 6. We have an intersecting 5, so we can do this. This 5 stops, this is a 6, this is a 5, this is a 6, and this is a 5. Missing number here is a 6. 6 stops this square, 6 blocks across here, 6 is there. One number to get for this row, it's a 9, isn't it? Like our 9's coming down here like this, and then 9's coming down here like this. One number missing here, it's a 5. 5 will be down here now, and then 5 up here. Missing numbers here are what? 2 and 6. I'm blocking 6 here, so the 6 is there, the 2 is here. Missing numbers here are 5 and 9. We have a 9 blocking across here, so that's the 9, that's the 5. 5 across here, 5 across here, or down like in that way, if you want to think of it like that. 3 blocking across here, so that's our 3. 7 and 9 are missing. 9 blocks here, so that's our 9, that's our 7. 7 blocking that square, that's our 7 there, and this is going to be our 3. So there you go. That's our, oh no, sorry, down here. Almost forgot. 2, we need a 2 to finish here. So a kind of bow shape like that, right? And then the last number that we need is a 4. No, not a 4. Last number we need is 6, I should say. Kind of shape like that, I suppose. Right, okay, so thank you to Julian for his ideas on bows and arrows. I hope you enjoyed that solve. I'm not sure I did. I'm not sure it was very fluent or very well explained, but if you get the idea, give it a try yourself. I think it's something that I could incorporate into my solving ideas, but I'm not sure that it's going to be, it's not easy to draw on a computer screen, right? Because it just isn't. I mean, I tried it in the previous version that I did, and it was a bit, I mean, because the blocks, it's kind of difficult to demonstrate, but I think the idea is a good one, and there's probably more to it. I haven't really explored it very deeply just yet. That's a basic idea, I think. That involves more study, more thought, certainly on my part. And perhaps if you read Julian's comments in the various videos over time, you can just go back and check some, and there are lots of explanations there. Thank you very much. And that's our Sunday morning. Well, yes, it is still morning. So I started the first one very early, so it's still actually morning here. But anyway, that's the first video of the day done. Thank you, bye bye.